Hey everybody, welcome back to the Defying Yourself podcast, or the Defy Yourself podcast, as I also call it. Today, our episode is going to be quite different. I believe this will be our third episode that we've done. If you've listened to either one or two of my podcasts so far, thank you so much. I think across the two videos, we have about 16 or 17 views. I haven't really gone deep into the stats of what that means or how interesting it is or to people or how long the view durations are or whatever. I'm just in the exploratory phase of making a podcast, putting my thoughts out there, trying to string a few episodes together. I plan to do 10. This one right now that you're listening to is more of a one-off. Hopefully the audio is a little bit better for you. I have improved my production somewhat, but for the most part, this operation remains very lo-fi and under the radar. Hopefully, the message and the purpose still rings true, and I did listen back to a couple of the recordings, and I really don't know. I don't think the audio was very good at all. Hopefully, it's going to be more improved for you today, but all of this serves as preamble to the couple recordings I want to share. And that's my cat coming in right now. I'm not going to edit this out. She just poked her way in and she's... Hi, Gracie. Hi, sweetheart. I'm trying to record a podcast right now. Are you done? Yeah, I think I briefly mentioned Gracie in the beginning of the first episode when I was sitting with Nathaniel. We have a Russian blue cat who really... So it looks like Gracie has left our podcast studio here. She checked in. She has no clue what I'm doing, but I am going to leave that part in there. However, it did interrupt my explanation of what this episode is and what you are about to hear. I believe I have two distinct recordings of conversations I've had with a man named Mark. I don't know his last name. I can describe him to you in great detail. But suffice to say, he's a extremely interesting character that I've encountered, to the extent where I've recorded a couple of our conversations because some of the things this man have said to me have been so almost prophetic, certainly wise, certainly abstract. He is an older man. He's likely in his 70s or 80s. He looks like a cowboy. So if you can imagine a straight up Western style looking dude with a cowboy hat, and he even wears like a cowboy vest and like flannel, and of course he has cowboy boots on, and he even talks in like an old Western fashion. In fact, like if you saw this man and you spoke to him, he almost looks like he just walked out of a saloon in 1865 or something. Like he truly looks like he should be serving under Ulysses S. Grant or something like that. And he talks that way too. He's I don't want to mess up his life story. Perhaps in a future episode of Defy Yourself, we could get a proper interview with this man, because he's quite the character. I wonder if he'd ever consent to that. However, there are a couple drawbacks to these recordings that I've made of my conversations with Mark. One is that there's a lot of ambient noise in the background that is pretty distracting, and if you're like me and sensitive to sound, there's some sounds in this that are not... this was not recorded in the studio. This was literally recorded at a seating area, a patio outside of a community food co-op. This is where I mostly interact with this man. He frequents the co-op. He goes in and buys things. He buys beer there. And he also interacts with plenty of other people. And I'm one of the people who has, taken a liking to him to where we're sort of friends. Now, this man's mindset, I would never want to cast dispersion on him or speak of him in a negative way. However, I will say up front that it seems apparent that he's experiencing a form of dementia, to where his style of thinking and articulation is very abstract. However, I would not say that he is diminished or worse off. It appears, in fact, that he's like a poet. He's like a Walt Whitman to me. I regret that I have not been able to record him under more suitable settings, where you won't hear the crashing of a grocery store cart, or the chirping of birds, or kids in the background, or if I slam my fist on the table in passion, or if he does the same 10 times as hard, you're going to hear that. And so there is a lot of ambient noise, but it's also very raw too. I did let him know about these recordings, and he consented to me using them under the preface of creating an oral history of his life and understanding the way he sees the world. So you're going to hear a man who is very expressive and very poetic. And when I speak to him, I don't always speak to him the way I would everybody. I try to throw different curveballs at him, or try to approach his mind in a way that might yield some sort of interesting thing. And he has a knack for, although his speech sounds very different and almost otherworldly in some respects, he also sounds very prophetic and profound and interesting, and I feel that he's given me a great advice and a spiritual sort of sense. Other times that he's spoken to me, it's just been like utter madness, you know. So there's certainly a disparity of what you get with him sometimes, but for the most part, I just really respect this guy, and I like him as a friend. I think he's very funny. I think he's very interesting, and I wanted to create a podcast with capturing some of his expression and life story, and I look forward to presenting that and then perhaps discussing it further. Perhaps we could do another episode where I can capture his voice in a more suitable setting. I think that's just about it for the preamble. Again, the audio that you're about to hear will be pretty raw, but I hope it serves as some interest to you, and at least give you a small sense of this very interesting man, this sort of eccentric cowboy, poet cowboy, who's getting up there, but he's got some very interesting things to say, and he's never vulgar, but he can be quite loud, and he can speak in a certain way that's classically Southern, which is something I find really compelling about him as well. So I hope you enjoy these recordings. Again, I don't expect the recordings transition from what you're hearing right now to what you're going to hear will be that smooth. Again, if you like the lo-fi vibe of the podcast, it'll be just fine. I hope you enjoy, and I'm already working on episode 4, episode 5, episode 6. I'm having a lot of fun doing this podcast, and I feel like I'm starting to get some momentum with figuring out my process. I've done some tests with this new audio setup, and it seems like it's actually pretty good. So I look forward to making a lot more from you. Obviously, not a lot of listeners right now, but I'm just trying to create some good content. Hopefully that will bring some more people in. Thank you so much for listening, and please enjoy the rest of this episode.
From space to fill in that maddening crowd.
Whoa.
To metaphorize who is afraid of Virginia Woolf. Or it's like
Use your
you
voice.
Place, and you have to be responsible for it.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Like everyone. That's the thing, like every single
Your
person.
space. You have to be responsible for your space. That's real.
I like that.
That's true. Yeah. Man, if more people felt that way. If more people felt that way or thought that way, right?
Yeah.
It'd be like
The earth and your...
it'd be like sharing
your
waterfall.
own energy. You're sharing a waterfall, man.
Man,
Sharing a waterfall.
sharing waterfalls.
No, I think I know what you mean by that.
What is travel?
What is-
You can get a million different definitions on what is travel.
Travel.
Yeah.
Because you can travel.
And it's so important too.
Yeah. Where have you traveled?
Oh, mentally.
Oh, mentally.
Attitude, keeping my pulse halfway.
So where's your favorite place to travel mentally?
I would say Texas.
Texas? Like,
Yeah.
mentally you can like astral project yourself to Texas and you'll be on a cattle ranch somewhere.
Mentally, I always put myself in some kind of mental health
Yeah.
policy.
Oh, what were you saying about mental health? Remember you were talking about our mental hygiene the other day?
Yeah.
Mental hygiene.
Yeah,
that was good.
we touched on.
Yeah, we were talking about that with Reed, but you were just saying some really profound things about that. I really like that a lot. We need to put our mental hygiene first and foremost. Clean our minds.
You gotta feel better somehow. You have to have people to bring up the questions
Yeah.
to find out what you doubt
What I doubt.
and talk about what you doubt.
Talk about what you doubt.
Yeah.
I was talking to him the other day about my situation with my brother, and he was saying like every time I think a negative thought, that I should turn it into a positive thought. It's easier said than done, but
Yeah, or some. It's not. I didn't put it real good, and you don't understand the metaphors I use.
sometimes I do.
Sometimes it takes
A lot of the times I don't, but I try.
It's okay to talk the same language every day.
True, I do. That is what I do.
Yeah.
I think that's the only language he knows.
Yeah, I
You
don't
know a little bit of Spanish. A little bit of French.
Alabama.
Wow, I feel good.
Alias.
Uh-huh.
Alias. It could help and it could not.
Okay. Speaking the same language every day?
My point was the routine.
Yeah.
You can call it a routine if you have enough facts. You know?
Yes, I follow.
Enough evidence.
Yeah.
And the redneck's gonna go shoving down the road. But the college students
Yeah.
and
No, I follow you. I think I know what you're saying.
yeah,
The redneck, the metaphorical redneck, doesn't like the facts
yeah,
or the evidence.
right.
I know what you mean. I feel that.
He can sit there and just bullshit
Himself.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And also, like, people are very afraid of the truth in a lot of the ways. Or not only afraid, but threatened by the truth. The truth.
There's you and me
Yeah.
right there on the marijuana, loving the game,
Yeah.
the sport,
The sport.
championship.
Nice.
It feels like a championship.
Every moment?
No, every time.
when you smoke weed.
it down, that's
Man,
what
I seriously do need to smoke weed with you, because if this is the shit that you say when you're sober, I can't even imagine what you say when you're fucking high.
I don't know what I'm talking.
No, I know what you're talking about, man.
Yeah.
And I appreciate your words, man. Very wise stuff.
Hey, you have a beautiful couple on your t-shirt.
Thank you.
There you
Yeah.
go. How about that,
Do
right?
you know who did this?
No.
Keith Haring.
There's an artist named Keith,
Yeah.
Keith Haring.
Keith
He's pretty
Haring.
good. He's like
Pop
an
art.
he's like an impressionist.
Andy Warhol.
Yeah.
He's a friend of
Yeah.
Andy Warhol. Yeah.
So they were both friends, like in the late 70s, 80s. Yeah, Keith passed in the 90s, I think.
Did he?
Yeah, of AIDS.
I thought.
It's probably a good way to go.
No.
Christopher.
Just kidding.
Yeah,
I
that's
thought Andy Warhol was like involved with not Cecil B. DeMille.
He
Who's
was.
that?
He
Yeah.
he
Phil.
worked with many different people of various art mediums.
Yeah.
Yeah, Edie. Who else?
I like Andy Warhol. He worked with Basquiat.
Yeah,
You know who
Basquiat as
Basquiat
well.
is? That's like one of the best artists ever. Jean-Michel Basquiat.
Yeah. His story was interesting.
I followed John Claude Keeley.
Who's that?
Claude Keeley.
He took 4 gold medals in the Winter Olympics.
Oh, that's random. Remember the other day when you were talking to me about gymnastics?
I remember, but I don't remember what I said.
Me neither, but I just
Yeah.
remember you brought it up.
Yeah.
Why not?
Oh, this coffee got me feeling good today.
Coffee
Hey,
and
keep
good
your
conversation.
cool, man. The police might find you and hire you.
Hire me?
Hire you.
I would be into
Yeah.
that. I would be into that. Like, as in, like an informant or like an undercover.
No,
I
no,
could be
sort of
deep
like
cover.
sort of like education and
Well, I did work in education for a
the
little bit.
the patrol.
Me?
That's sort
Oh,
of.
hell no.
No, I mean,
Or
wait.
is it like a Serpico?
I mean, if you told
Okay.
if you told them what to do and explained to them why,
Yeah.
see, it blows their mind.
They listen to me.
Yeah,
That's why I need some more respect.
yeah.
I don't get enough respect.
Don't look at me.
I need, yeah, no.
Hey,
I get a lot from you, but I'm talking about from the populace. You know what I mean?
It feels good because you're part Joker.
Thank you.
Yeah.
See, this man understands me. You fucking understand me, dude. Dude, come on, bro.
No.
I understand you, dude.
All right.
And that's all I ever wanted to be. You know what I mean? Part Serpico, part Joker. You know?
All right, I'll go. Or Panama, right?
So that was the end of our first recording. I hope you liked that. I'm not sure if it was interesting or compelling to you as it is to me. I do have one more recording where he's a little bit more lucid. Perhaps that's not the right word. He sort of has a different persona in this next clip than the first one. Check it out.
What do I mean? It's more fun than a barrel of monkeys.
The space age?
No? Yeah. The instinct or
Yeah.
intuition.
Yeah. I feel a lot of that.
You know?
Yeah, I
I'm trying to put you there, man.
Yeah. My intuition seems very powerful. I can see people very clearly. I see you very clearly. But sometimes it's not always good to have a strong intuition, you know, because you can see the bad people, and the bad people don't like it when you see them, you know. So, that's one thing I noticed in my life.
You said it right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a gift and a curse at the same time, you know.
Ah. Well, metaphors.
Remember when?
Like, a lot of citizens don't think it's a big deal. But the therapists are really
Metaphor.
on their toes
For
about
metaphor.
metaphor.
Wow. You already finished it,
Call
huh?
it baseball management.
Okay, baseball management. I like baseball a lot too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, you guys better get on first base.
I'm gonna steal first base.
You're not done with it? Yeah. Okay, leave it right there. We can move it back. Nobody wants your happy donut. Come on.
I might have it.
Massive.
What was that?
There's so many things wrong with my mind. I don't want any females to know it.
Me too, man. Me too. Yeah, I feel that way about my girlfriend sometimes too, you know?
Yeah. Like ammonia.
Literally, like ammonia.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can smell it.
Well, every day gives us another lesson.
Yeah? What's
Yeah.
today's lesson?
Today's lesson is hold on loosely to your girl.
Hold on loosely.
Yeah.
Man, you're the best, dude. You say the best stuff, dude.
Say,
Because that's probably the best way to hold on to your girl, you know? You don't want to hold too tight.
no.
She's going to find someone else, you know? Who will be a little more loose.
Yeah, it's a challenge.
It
Shit.
is a challenge.
Challenge for God's sake.
Did you ever love a woman?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
I've been in love.
Yeah?
Didn't get hurt.
Didn't get hurt?
No, because nothing happened.
I think your heart is very strong.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why.
Maybe it's somewhere down in there. D-O-W-N.
D-O-W-N, down.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
No, we're fine. Come here. Just sit. I told you it'd be there. We're having coffee.
Have you ever ridden a horse before?
Well, no, you mean as in a horse ever ridden me? It's because we fight. I fist fight horses. I don't ride them.
Because you look like you've ridden many a horse in your day. They tried to ride you. You weren't having it.
All right.
I'm trying to imagine a horse trying to ride you right now.
No. I hate him hard.
Yeah, apparently it's very expensive to own and maintain a horse.
Yeah.
Because my dad used to own a horse,
Yeah.
but he had to sell it.
Uh-huh.
It was too expensive.
Yeah. Ain't that a bummer?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess he really loved that horse. I never had much affection for it. But we were like living in suburbia, so he would have to go out somewhere like to be a suburban cowboy, you know what I mean? So it was kind of like a fake thing, you know, like you're the real deal, like you're a real cowboy. My dad was not, you know, he's like a computer engineer. So I don't know where I was going with that, but
Well, it's like we get tired of satellites,
yes.
then we'll probably get into Star Wars.
Yeah, probably will.
Yeah.
I look forward to the Star Wars. I want to become one with the machine.
Yeah.
I want, like, I hope that they could, like, download my brain and put it into a computer, and I could be a robot warrior.
Huh.
That'd be cool, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to participate in the Star Wars.
Cool, man. That's all right. It's a good attitude.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but on the forces of good, of course.
As long as you got someone to lay with and a beer now and then.
In space.
In space, you can get away with murder. But you see, that's what the new frontier is.
Space.
Space and getting away with anything you want.
Yeah. Because there probably in the future there will be some sort of space bandit. Space criminals. Vigilantes. Space vigilantes in spaceships.
Oh, braise honky stove.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know what you just said, but I agree.
That's Spanish for cowboy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like to think about space and technology
I like to
and
think about Spain.
Spain.
Yeah.
What part of Spain? Like Madrid?
When,
You ever been to Europe?
just some of the loose old history.
Have you ever left the United States?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I am looking.
But, see, if I leave the United States, I have to say goodbye to hash brown.
Can't do that. That's a deal breaker. Because they don't have hash browns in Great Britain.
Well, yeah, you know, the meditation's working really well. I still have a lot of stress in my life, but
God
apply for housing
dang.
I went to a pub in England one time that was opened in 1674. So the pub is older than this country.
Yeah.
That was cool. I haven't been to England in a while though. It's been 7 or 8 years. So I have a lot of family who live there. I don't remember any hash browns though.
Basketball.
Nice. What about basketball?
Well, I can get the rebound.
Yes.
And pass it to you, and you could try and make a basket.
I'll post up. Score. Yeah, you got to shoot your shot, you know, in life. Just like a 3-point shooter like Stephen Curry, you know. You got to shoot your shot. See what you can make. That's life. That's life, you know. Some of us.
Life is examining your paraphrase. Yeah.
Examining what we paraphrase.
That puts England on top of Scotland. It does every year.
Whoa. England on top of Scotland? What do you mean? Maybe if you turn the globe, maybe if you turn the map upside down.
You know what history says about England?
Yeah. What about it?
Yeah. The ozone.
The ozone. I don't follow.
Now, you Swan Lake.
Yeah.
You gonna fall for that?
No, not me.
No.
I don't fall for nothing. It's a lot of watermelons. This guy lifting his watermelons. Oh my God, I love a bit of coffee. That is good. I went to Mishka's the other day with Taylor. You know Mishka's? It's a coffee place around here. We had two lattes. It was about $15. Expensive as hell, ain't it? It's like a day's worth of income.
You got to know the ropes in this town.
Yeah, there's like 20 different expensive coffee shops on every block.
Yeah.
It's mostly just a downtown full of restaurants and expensive coffee shops.
Well, I gotta go take care of some business.
You gotta get out of here? All right. Hey,
And
good having a liquid breakfast with
you
you.
know I'm gonna be back straight up.
I hope so. Straight
and
up.
Transactory.
Okay. I expect that from you, all right?
All right.
Hey, God bless you, all right? Have a great day. I'll see you later, Mark.
So that was about it. A couple conversations with Mark. I don't want to give too much comment, but I do think some of the stuff this guy is saying is super interesting. Obviously, we can tell that he's been through a lot, and the way his mind works right now is different, but that doesn't mean he's still not out there fighting and speaking his mind and trying to, I think, convey some of the wisdom that he's accrued over his life to me. So let me know what you think in the comments. Please stay tuned for next episode. I think episode 4. It's going to be really awesome. Thank you so much for listening again.